Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar today, How to Get Nonprofit Office 365 Cloud Subscriptions. Before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items, so all callers will be muted. If you have questions, feel free to use the chat box that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. If you lose your internet connection, just try refreshing your browser and use the link that was emailed to you. If you have to drop off early, we'll be posting the webinar on our website at TechSoup.org/community/events-webinars. We'll also be sending an email with the presentation, the recording, and any relevant links. If you're on social media, feel free to tweet at us at TechSoup using hashtag TSWebinars, but like I said earlier, we'll be using the Q&A box that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. So just a little bit about TechSoup before we get started. We are located in 236 countries and territories, and we serve over 1 million nonprofits. This is possible thanks to our technology partners and donors like Adobe, Amazon Web Services, Intuit, Microsoft, Symantec, and several more that you see here. If you're interested in seeing what your organization is eligible for, feel free to visit the link that you see here, get product donations to figure out what is available to your nonprofit. And I just want to make sure that my sound is working clearly. So if you guys don't mind just typing in the Q&A box where you're calling in from, and I'm going to read a few of them out just to make sure you guys can hear me. All right, we have Emily from Iowa. We have Marie from Minnesota, Scarlett, and Margaret from Memphis. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make the introduction. So on today's webinar, we have myself. My name is Seema Tucker. I'm the online learning producer here at TechSoup. And then we have Neetu. She is the Cloud Service Provider Account Manager, along with Ricky, who is also a Cloud Service Provider Account Manager. So they will be guiding you through today's webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Neetu.
Thank you, Seema. Oops, sorry. Hi, everyone. We are going to talk about get a free consultation on moving to Microsoft Office 365. Today, we will talk about how we at TechSoup Cloud Service Provider Reseller Program can help your organization, your nonprofit. On today's agenda, we are going to be talking about what is TechSoup Cloud Service Provider Reseller Program, what is Office 365, and your nonprofit's path to eligibility to get Office 365. We will also talk about how we at TechSoup can help you get Office 365 for your organization, and also Office 365 adoption and support services. We will end with a short question and answer session after the end of the presentation. Okay, talking about what is TechSoup Cloud Service Provider Reseller Program. Earlier this year in 2018, TechSoup became an official reseller of Microsoft Cloud products for nonprofits. This way we are able to connect your nonprofits to all the Microsoft Cloud services and solutions offered. Nonprofits can now obtain Microsoft Cloud products at both donated and heavily discounted prices through TechSoup. And TechSoup also, after you get your Office 365 products, we also offer additional services to help your organizations migrate your data and even your emails into Microsoft Cloud platform. Let's talk about what is Office 365. Office 365 is Microsoft's cloud suite of Office applications, and it includes hosted email. By talking about Office Cloud Suite of applications, it means what you get in your normal Office Professional Plus applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc. Microsoft's licensing plans combine Microsoft's hosted online services such as SharePoint, OneDrive, etc., and also has subscription licenses for Office Suite, which is again Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, etc. These licenses are licensed per user and it's per month. Currently through TechSoup, we have two subscription types for Office 365. The first one is the Business tier, which includes the Essentials plan and the Business Premium plan. Our Essentials plan is the donated plan, and it only contains web applications to the Office Suite, versus the Premium plan, which is our discounted plan, will have downloadable Office Suite applications. Then we have a different tier, which is the enterprise plan, which includes E1 licenses, E3 licenses, and F1 licenses. Our E1 licenses are the donated version again, which only includes access to web application of Office Suite. Our E3 plan is the discounted plan, which you can actually download your Office Suite on your computer. And the F1 plan, which is strictly a volunteer SKU, will not include the downloadable applications versus it would have access to all your Office Suite web applications. To talk about the structure of Office 365, here you can see all the very basic Office 365 plan comes with Office 365 web applications, and it includes Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, OneDrive for Business, and Skype for Business. And this is available in all your Office 365 plans, regardless of what tier you choose. However, for the discounted versions, you can actually download your Office applications on your mobile or your computer on laptop. Suppose your organization has already an email provider, email service provider, and you don't want to move to Office 365 Exchange Online. You have another option where you can get Office 365 Pro Plus, which is at the very first tile at the bottom. What this includes is Office 365 basic applications, Office Suite applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc. And it will also include OneDrive for Business. It will not, however, include Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and Skype for Business. So it's only a combination of Office Suite applications and OneDrive for Business. And to talk a little bit more about these tiles, let's go to the next slide. Here we have Office 365 nonprofit. So the first tile would be email. Our Office 365 email is a hosted email on Exchange. It has 50 gigabytes of email storage per user and per inbox. You can access these emails via your desktop application Outlook, or if you don't want to use this via your desktop application, you can use it online on any of your web browsers such as Google Chrome, Firefox, etc. Or you can also use it on your mobile devices. You have access to shared calendars and mailboxes using this email facility. The Office 365 email saves costs on data backups, server hardware and software, and it also includes spam filtering. Let's talk a little bit about Office applications. The Office applications always include the latest version of Microsoft Office Professional Plus applications such as the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc. You have an option to either install your Office applications on your desktop locally with those discounted licenses, or with the donated licenses, you can use it on your web application as well for greater flexibility. With the discounted licenses, you can also use both the web applications online and also install your desktop version software locally on your computer. All the software updates and patches included for the life of the subscription. So we have any new Office suite which is released, you will get all your software updates and all your patches included. Now to talk about file storage, we have two different types of file storage. One is the SharePoint. SharePoint is a central file sharing repository. You can share files internally or externally within your organization. And you can use your Office web applications to create and edit your documents online. You also have access to OneDrive for Business, which is about 1 TB of personal cloud file storage. With this OneDrive for Business, you can sync your files with desktop to work offline. And you can also access documents anywhere on your mobile devices or your laptops. Microsoft has recently launched a new application called Delve, and it is used to discover your organize information relevant to you across your organization. So for example, if you and your coworker were having conversations over Outlook and you were sending attachments back and forth, and at a later point in time you want to find a specific attachment which your coworker has shared with you, you can use this Delve application, locate your coworker's profile, and it will show you the list of all the attachments between the both of you. This way, this avoids you looking or filing or browsing through any of the conversations you were going through back and forth, making your life more easier. We do have communication and collaboration tools. With SharePoint, you can go ahead and edit and collaborate all documents online. We have Skype for Business, which is used for secure instant messaging. You can use screen sharing, web conferencing, and HD video conferencing. However, Microsoft is slowly dissolving or discontinuing Skype for Business, and it is going to be evolved into something called as Microsoft Teams. Now, Microsoft Teams will have all the facilities and the advantages of Skype for Business, including more features such as you can customize collaborative workspaces for content, tools, people, and conversations with Microsoft Teams. You also have access to Yammer, and with Yammer you can have group conversations and you can have social sharing. Moving on to the next slide. Here you can see what is included with Office 365. In this grid, the very top row shows all our Office 365 plans, which is the Essentials, Premium, E1, E3, and the F1 plan. Let's go over it by row. So the first row, you can see the maximum number of users you can have in the Essentials and the Premium plan is 300. So if you think your nonprofit has a huge number of employees, or you're going to hire a large number of employees, I would suggest the E1 or the Enterprise plan, E1, E3, or the Enterprise plan, that is. It has a higher number of limit for users. As you can see, for the E1 plan, that's 2,000 user limit, and for the E3 and F1 plan, there's unlimited number of users you can have. Office online applications are available in all the plans, as you can see. However, the downloadable applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Outlook is only available in Business Premium and E3 plans. Access and Publisher 2 is available only in Business Premium in E3 plans. However, there is a catch. It's not available for Mac computers. It will only be Windows machines. Exchange is included in all the plans. OneDrive is also included in all the plans. However, for E3 plan, you can have unlimited storage. SharePoint, Skype for Business, and Teams are also included in all the plans. However, for F1, which is the Volunteer Skill plans, it is a bit limited in its features. The Planner application is only included in Essentials, Premium, E1, and E3 plans. Moving on to the next slide, Ricky will take it from here.
Hi folks, thanks for joining us. Thanks Nitya, that was a great job. So moving on and wrapping up the conversation and a little bit about the difference between traditional licensing versus the cloud licensing. So a lot of organizations will reach out to us and wanting to know the main advantages and disadvantages. So when we refer to the on-premise, that would be the standard installation process you're familiar with, so the non-cloud version. Typically the advantage in some people, and there's some crossover here, it's a one-time expense. So with cloud, they're typically going to be subscription-based. So with the traditional licensing, it'll be a one-time expense you can budget for. No ongoing costs. Through TechSoup, Microsoft provides what's called software assurance, which let's say you purchase an Office Standard or Office Professional Plus Professional, it would come with 2-year software assurance, meaning you could upgrade to the latest version or the most recent version of the application. Now there's a caveat there. We know that Office 2019, the non-cloud version, will be the last version Microsoft will be providing. So very soon all organizations will have to move to the cloud regardless. The disadvantages to on-prem, again, you'll need to upgrade. That's something that you will be able to, that you will need to plan for, as you won't be able to stay securely patched through the standard licensing models in time. The advantages of the cloud, so the Office 365 platform, the Microsoft's platform, costs are spread over time. There is an advantage to that as well. You know the price that you're paying, and you can budget accordingly per users per month. And with the mix and match of the licenses SKUs that Nitu went over, one user could have a volunteer license while the other has a paid commercial E3, as she mentioned, but it's all under one account, so you can budget accordingly and provide the applications one specific user needs versus another. Because it's cloud and connected and you're paying, the software updates happen automatically. I believe Microsoft calls this Update Tuesday. So patches and updates typically come out on a Tuesday that push to your organization. Diving a little deeper here, if you're an admin on larger accounts, you can control how those pushes come out and when to roll them out on that factor. You can turn off the licenses, pretty simple, or aspects of the licenses. Let's say you have a volunteer that may not need a OneDrive aspect that meets your organization needs. They probably shouldn't have that. Well, you can turn that feature off for that specific employee. It's great to utilize and mix and match again per employee use. You can access your applications and files from anywhere. That's the key point and the big drive that organizations are moving for. They want to collaborate and be able to access their files from wherever they are and not necessarily be tied to the computer they maybe saved that file to. Again, disadvantages. Some organizations, because we're a nonprofit and we recognize that maybe your funding is different, maybe you're smaller, and so you rely on grants, and so now you have a base price and you have to continually pay for Office 365. So we go over, when you speak to our team, Nietzsche's a nice team, we go over these advantages in correlation to your specific nonprofit and guide you with the best application. As mentioned earlier, and as Nietzsche stated, there are donated lines available through the Microsoft platform. Nietzsche mentioned an application or service through the Microsoft platform called Delve. This kind of hits the point on your users may need to have retraining, or maybe there's a slight learning curve because all these new tools are coming out that we're not familiar with, and so there's some users are wanting to provide or wanting to know if there's courses and information on that, and that is something that TechSoup is providing with certain courses. And as more applications come out, we're committed to keeping nonprofits in the know on that spectrum. Another disadvantage, depending on the model that you get, it's dependent on an internet connection. This is typically based off of the web applications. If you have a donated line and it doesn't come with installable applications, and let's say you did not have installed maybe an older version of 2016 or 2013 Office Suite, and you only had a web browser, that's when you would definitely need an internet connection. However, with tools like your smartphone and tablets, that's more becoming a thing of the past and less of a disadvantage as technology moves forward. So moving to the next slide. All this being said, many of you here, we thank you for joining, are already TechSoup members and you're trying to get more information on Microsoft platform to the cloud. So there is an eligibility for cloud-specific licensing. Many of the organizations here may have purchased Office Standard in the past and may be familiar with the Volume Licensing Service Center, or I have a TechSoup account. Does that mean I'm already eligible for Microsoft? There are aspects that point that you will be eligible, but there's still a cloud registration. So if your organization is eligible for Microsoft desktop products, it's a great indication you're going to be eligible for cloud products. There is a little bit of a caveat. Public libraries are not currently, at this time, Microsoft eligible for the cloud. However, they continue to be eligible for desktop products. Moving down a little bit further to the bottom right corner there, for cloud products, organizations may need to be tagged with a tenant ID. So it's a new standard nomenclature and ID that Microsoft has created. Maybe some of you are familiar with live IDs in the past. So with cloud on Microsoft's platform, they are referring to it with an onmicrosoft.com domain. This is a cloud-specific domain. And domain, there's a lot of crossover. There's a website domain. There is a Microsoft tenant domain. So we're here and we're committed to keeping things straight and helping you get on track. And when you register, each organization will have their specific Microsoft Cloud domain. For example, name an organization name.onmicrosoft.com. That is the entire organization's cloud account. And once the organization is validated as a public charity, the nonprofit organization's account will be tagged as they call it, for the offers. So essentially what that means is once you register, you're validated, that Microsoft domain will be approved as a nonprofit versus maybe a stated commercial account or an education account, because that's a different platform. It's approved for the nonprofit offerings. So all of that, what does it come to? It's complicated, and this is how we're committed to helping you. Nitu and I's team, and we have some wonderful colleagues that provide a consultative one-on-one conversation to create a plan and moving forward to the cloud. We kind of go over all the tiers that Nitu went over, and in combination with your specific organization's need, whether it's budget or whether you need an email solution or you want to know how you can collaborate better. Each instance is different, and so we're committed to providing the answers that best and resources to get you going appropriately. If you need further services like migration, and we'll talk about these two instances in a moment, we can direct you to plans and IT support needs that we offer through TechSoup with certain partnerships or individual things, internal aspects that TechSoup is providing to the nonprofit sector. We can, again, assist you in that registration process that I just went over and ensure that your understanding is essentially just up to date and that you get the process. And once you are eligible with that, your organization will have this tenant, which means as in the nonprofit sector, there's a lot of turnover and people come and go. You have volunteers, but this account is your organization's account. And we ensure that you understand how to hand over or add users to it, and so that the organization doesn't lose the account or access to it. And ending this little slide, we can help you set up the online self-service so that you can add the cloud licenses as you need. We've designed something called the Cloud Manager, and it's our TechSoup web subdomain. You can go check it out at cloud.techsoup.org, and I'll have Nitu put in the URL. And at the top left, you can see the cloud products and services. But it's where TechSoup members can actually provision and purchase licensing, assign them, and where your invoices and aspects are handled. So this is getting around the volume licensing service center. There's a new way to provision licensing. So to kind of recap all of that, TechSoup is committed to educate, adopt, and manage the Office 365 platform for your nonprofit. We provide a licensing consultation, which is free. It's our conversation to help you understand the platform and give you guidance on where to go. There is a downloadable Office 365 guide that is free, and it's on our website. And we'll put that in the chat here now for organizations to copy and save for later. There is a course to help nonprofits and organizations kind of understand a little bit more about the productivity aspect of Office 365, or Outlook specifically, or understand SharePoint a little bit more. And even that, something that's coming more into play is business intelligence. So Microsoft's application called Power BI, there's a course there to help you understand what that is, and Nitu's going to go ahead and put that in the chat. By doing all those, we help you adopt the application. So that means helping you register for free once you get in touch with us and we understand your needs. This is getting a little bit more specific, but let's say that long tenant, there's a process. That long on Microsoft.com domain, you want it to be a little bit more specific and a little bit more commercial friendly to match your website. Well, there's a process for that, and we can have that conversation on how that works. So converting, moving a DNS redirect there. We have a few other plans to help you with email migration and for smaller organizations and email migration for larger organizations. Why that matters is because a larger organization is going to need a strategic plan, and you're going to need to move over things in time and over time to ensure all your applications are managed appropriately, right? And not only that, we're full circle here. We help you manage the application. So whether it's a one-time fix, to fix an aspect, or you need a long-term solution of support, there are help desk needs there, and for larger organizations that might need an understanding of how to grow further outside of the Microsoft platform, there's a managed IT service where we understand your needs. We're going to put a link in the chat for that as well, and help you build your organization from a technology solution. Move over to the next slide. So we're going to start wrapping things up here. So thank you for taking the time. We're running a little bit over. It's rather in depth, but I want to hand this back over to Seema to go over the questions and answers. And feel free to utilize the chat, and we'll see what kind of questions we can answer before our time is up. And we'll put a link on where to get access to us now in the chat, and I'll have Nitu pop this over. It is this last link. If you want to have a conversation with us, we'll pop this in here. You'll log into your account, and it'll direct you to an intake form that will reach out to Nitu and I directly, and some of our colleagues to get the conversation going.
All right, thank you, Nitu, and thank you, Ricky. We only have a couple minutes, so I'm going to ask just a couple questions that I saw a few times throughout the webinar. So the first question is around, let's see, about large files being sent back and forth. So does SharePoint Online cause internet slowness?
That's a great question, and I apologize, I don't see the name who asked that, but that's more about hardware. So it's more about your ISP, your internet connection, plus the computer that's reading all these files. SharePoint's online, so it's quickly, it comes back to your computer being able to read the information fast, and less about the SharePoint aspect running your computer slowly, right? You're not necessarily having to load everything. It's from your computer as the endpoint, because SharePoint's built on Azure's platform in the cloud, and that's where everything's stored. So it's more, for that question, it's more about internet connection plus your computer hardware.
Perfect. Okay, so another question, in terms of licensing, so somebody was asking if I need 50 computers set up with Office 365, but I only have access to 30 computers right now, do I need to purchase 50 licenses, or can I purchase some first and then the other ones later? Also, are they computer-based?
That's a great question. So this is a little bit more diving deep, but you can mix and match. And to answer your question, you don't have to buy all 50 up front. You can buy what you need now and add on more later. And the donated versions are downloadable. So you will be able to download the application just like normal. The user experience is the same. You download the item to the desktop or the endpoint that you need.
All right, perfect. So it looks like we are getting close to time. Hopefully you guys will be able to get all your questions answered once the webinar is over. So before we go, I just want to let you guys know we have a post-event survey. Any feedback that you have for us is really helpful. So if there's more information that you wanted to see, or if there's topics even outside of Microsoft that you're interested in having on our webinars, we look at all of that stuff. So if you could take a couple extra minutes to give us your feedback, that's always really helpful. We are also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you're on any of those platforms, feel free to give us a follow. And then we also try to post a lot of tips and tricks on our blog as well. We have a few webinars that are coming up in the new year. So there's a follow-up to this webinar called So You Signed Up for Office 365, Now What? So hopefully you guys can join us for that next webinar on January 14th. We also have a TechSoup tour that's happening on January 15th just to understand how TechSoup works, and then get to know GrandStation on February 5th. We also offer TechSoup courses. So you can see here we have different topics like Google Analytics, Facebook advertising. We have a promo code for our webinar attendees today. If you're interested in trying out a TechSoup course, feel free to use this code for a 10% off your first TechSoup course. And I'll be sending this out in the follow-up email as well. We also have TechSoup services, so if you need help desk, managed IT, cloud implementation, or Office 365 support, we offer those services as well. And I just want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. I wanted to thank Neetu and Ricky for the information, to Cameron for helping on the back end, and to our webinar sponsor, ReadyTalk. And we hope you guys have a great holiday and hope to see you in the new year at our next webinar.